What if XRP's most significant move hasn't happened yet, and everything up until now has just been the warm-up? Or what if the signs are pointing to something far less exciting? XRP has survived lawsuits, delistings, market crashes, regulation wars, and more FUD than almost any other asset in the crypto market. Yet, it's still one of the most speculated on tokens in the world. In today's video, we're going deeper than just price predictions and crypto noise. We're talking about the signals, the real ones, that will decide whether XRP is gearing up for a breakout or staring down a potential correction that no one wants to talk about. So, let's go to baseline. Where is it at right now? XRP isn't dead, and it's not drifting aimlessly either. It's in a holding pattern. But a holding pattern before what? Institutional interest, regulatory clarity, a global payments overhaul, or a harsh market reality check? Right now, investors are split. Half think XRP is massively undervalued, and the other half think it's drifting towards irrelevance, and both sides have evidence to back it up. Let's talk about the upside first, because whether you love or hate XRP, you can't deny that there is real momentum building behind the scenes, and Ripple isn't retreating, it's expanding globally, quietly, strategically. We're seeing new corridors light up across Southeast Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and other regions where cross-border payments aren't optional, they're essential. And let's be blunt here, XRP's use case makes the most sense where remittances are lifelines, not luxuries. That's not hopium, that's infrastructure, real world infrastructure. So the bullish case looks like this: growing payment volume, more institutions testing or adopting on-demand liquidity, increasing clarity outside the United States, tokenization and central bank digital currency pilots accelerating, and Ripple positioning itself as the settlement layer of the new financial internet. Now, let's consider the risks, because pretending XRP has no risks is as delusional as pretending it has no value. After years of regulatory uncertainty, XRP now operates with far greater clarity in the United States, especially following the joint dismissal of appeals by the SEC and Ripple in August 2025. However, confidence remains low in some sectors, meaning there is still much to do, especially as some institutions still prefer stablecoins, and XRP's massive supply needs dramatic liquidity growth. And also, not all RippleNet partners use XRP, and if banks favour CBDC to CBDC settlement, XRP could find itself sidelined. So, the moon scenario is not guaranteed, and the crash scenario isn't just a fantasy. And so, if all of this is the case, what decides where XRP goes next? It comes down to these pivotal forces: regulation and institutional adoption versus tokenized fiat and market sentiment. In the end, it all comes down to this: if final rulings lean favourably, XRP gains legitimacy. If they're negative, it becomes a globally adopted asset with the United States handicap. And does the world choose neutral liquidity like XRP, or sovereign digital currencies with interoperability layers? And finally, in bull markets, narrative matters. In bear markets, liquidity does. And quite frankly, XRP needs both. And so let's try and paint the best case scenario for XRP, where regulation clears, adoption increases, new corridors come online, and Ripple's stablecoin launches smoothly. If all this comes to pass, XRP would become the settlement layer linking digital assets, CBDCs, stablecoins, and cross-border payments moving at the speed of the internet. But now let's take a look at what could be the downside, where institutions embrace blockchain but not XRP. RippleNet becomes just a messaging infrastructure and stablecoins dominate liquidity. Add to this a regulatory loss, slower corridor adoption and tokenized fiat bypassing XRP entirely, and it doesn't crash dramatically but fades away quietly. And so here's my take on it. Where does XRP end up? Well, in all honesty, it ends up somewhere between moonshot and crash land. And I know that's not a great answer, because that's smack bang in the middle, isn't it? But here's something that you should ponder on. XRP's future is unlikely to be extreme, but it is likely to be meaningful. Because XRP has real adoption, global corridors, infrastructure, and a place in global payments, but also faces real challenges primarily in its adoption. And let's face it, XRP isn't a lottery ticket, it's an infrastructure bet, a slow, grinding, globally relevant infrastructure bet. So finally, what's next for XRP? If adoption accelerates and regulation is cooperating, it will rise with purpose. But if the world chooses alternatives, XRP becomes a useful but limited tool in the new financial stack. Now, all of this probably sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, and to be honest with you, I am. Properly sitting on the fence with a big bucket of popcorn, waiting to see what happens with XRP. I think the next few months will be a big telling point of where that's likely to be. That's my analysis. I want yours now. Is XRP gearing up for liftoff, or are we heading for turbulence? Please feel free to drop your verdict below in the comments. If you want more deep dive investing content like this, please like the video, hit subscribe, smash the hell out of the notifications bell, and I'll see you in the next one.